Hello everyone, Sunshine2, welcome to another Modpack overview, this time on All of Fabric Lite, a modpack that simply adds a good variety of things that are fairly recent, such as Ynet, a few useful mods for blocks, resources, and so on, recipes, and so we'll just go through real quick. And this is obviously a light version of the All of Fabric modpack, so if you want a lightweight version, but still this sort of modpack, this is definitely the type of modpack to go for. We'll go with a install tutorial first, and then we'll cover the mods in the pack, and then get a bit of an idea of what the world will look like with the bio mod and a few other things included in this pack. So what you want to do is find the location of the modpack, which obviously I've got on the forums here if you want to check that out. The link will be in the description besides the link here. And you can see there's a client as well as a server version of the pack. Obviously, if you're playing in single player, you want the client one. If you're going for multiplayer server, go with that. And from there, what you do is you can just copy this link if you want to, besides just downloading it locally to your downloads folder. And from there, you can pretty much just go add instance, import from zip, get the link that you just copied or browse for the modpack, and then just type in whatever name or just let it create one by default, and then you're good to go. Obviously you'll want MultiMC for this. It isn't available for Twitch yet, unlike say the All of Fabric modpack itself. So the light version isn't exactly available yet, but probably it might be eventually. But we'll see, since it probably is quite early for a modpack of its type. But yeah, now to the mods. So what you've got is the following. You've got a furniture mod, tweaks to the anvil, the ability to see the saturation on the hunger bar, as well as probably a few other tweaks. A blocks mod for decorations and sort of building things with different themes. You've got conveyance for adding conveyor belts for item and block transport. The ability to move the creative buttons, so here, the ones that you'll use typically to navigate between the different tabs, so page 1 of the creative tabs, page 2, etc. A performance balancing mod. A food mod that allows you to either tweak existing food or tweak other things that can be edible. You've got a storage mod that obviously allows you to expand different chest tiers. You've got the ability to find out what certain things mods are from. A fix to the infinity enchantment. The ability for leaves to decay faster. Certain API or performance there. You've got the ability to find out what mods are installed, as well as tweak certain aspects like the cogs here, the configuring buttons, which is obviously what we're using now. A way to find out what caused a crash, which doesn't always show, but depending on the crash, obviously it'll show what the cause was. Another type of performance mod. The ability to view recipes as well as cheat things in. The ability to find out what certain things are in the world, so things such as ores, mobs, what they'll drop, as well as what sort of Y level they'll be positioned in the world when it comes to ores. A tech mod that adds obviously a bunch of different machines, cables, ores, and so on. A biome mod that is a lot more larger scaled and has a ton of different woods and biome types. A much smaller scaled biome mod that adds a few different types of things, but it's mostly, I think, vanilla focused. It does add a few ores, but mostly more for its autumn biome. You've got a mini-map, as well as a world map, as well as the ability to use waypoints, and you've got a fabric port of XNet, a way of doing a lot more with items and blocks and such in a bit more of a complex way. I haven't been able to cover it myself yet, so I can't really say for certain, and I only remember bits and pieces from XNet. So, let's go to the stuff here in REI, so you can see the different woods. You've got redwood, hemlock, cypress, willow, Japanese maple, rainbow eucalyptus, sakura or cherry trees, basalt, so a few non-wood related things, and a few grasses and plants, as well as a log turner. You've got conveyance for your alternating, inserting and splitting needs to route things, as well as using conveyor belts horizontally, vertically, faster speeds, and otherwise, as well as a catwalk. You've got your different tiers of chests. It allows you to obviously, if I can cheat some stuff in here, expand the storage size of chests. As well as upgrades to go about it. You've got some of the woods and saplings from Traverse, another type of biomod, but not as large scaled as Terrestria in comparison. You've got obviously Epicurean's type of food here, so you've got the jelly which you can use for making food a bit more interesting, or composting, as well as obviously a few things such as smoked salmon, tomatoes, and a few different types of meals such as hamburgers, beef stew, and so on. And then a cooking table to go about using these certain aspects. Tech Reborn's ores, solar panels, storage units, cabling, furnace, compressor, blast furnace, electrolyzer, freezer, turbine, and a few other things, as well as the different dusts, plates, ingots, and so on, armor, etc. Even cells for storing fluids. You've got Locus's hedges, fences, doors, other uses for terracotta, different glasses, glass blocks, asphalt, differences of diorite, uses for honeycomb, coloured lamps, and a few other different patterns and things. Legacy blocks. You've got Adorn for adding sofas, chairs, tables, countertops, cupboards, platforms, posts, shelves, kitchen sinks, coffee tables, lamps, crates, and so on. And there's also the terrestrial supported woods as well. And you can see some of the fluids from Tech Reborn as well. And obviously using REI to navigate things. Otherwise though, that's pretty much it. Thanks so much for watching, and goodbye. You can see Koala there, telling us that's grass, and you've got the mini-map, the voxel map, so you have waypoints and such.